Hey everybody, welcome to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. I'm one of your super co-hosts here, Regina, and I've got my lovely husband, Clovis. He's joining us today because you guys, we have to talk about Travis King. You know Travis King, the U.S. soldier that ran over into North Korea. Well, we've got an update to the story, and we're going to talk about that right after this.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV's church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina and Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcast. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by TRUTHandTriumph Ministries.
All right, everybody, we are back. We have an update to the story, regarding Travis King. Travis King's family, they're speaking out again. They're not giving up. They're not giving up hope on getting Travis King back. And listen, you guys, let's have this conversation. Now, Travis King's family spoke, and now we're getting this from NBC News. Now, those of you who are not familiar with who Travis King is, he is the young soldier that got into some trouble over in Korea while on duty. They're alleging that he had some arguments or some encounter with a Korean officer, police officer, and alleging that he did damages to a police officer's vehicle. And because of those actions, Travis King was held in a Korean prison for 1.5 months before being released back to the military. And in turn, the police military decided, okay, we've got to send him back to America. And they escorted him to the airport where he was supposed to get on a flight and get back to Texas. Well, Travis had another plan, and he decided that he was going to make an attempt to join a tour guide that was a tour bus with other people there. And he made one attempt and failed and couldn't get to the tour place. But the next attempt that he made, when the police military took him to the airport, the police military left him at the gate where they said Travis was supposed to board the flight and get on that plane to come back to America, to Texas. Well, Travis went to his plan again, and this time it worked. He was able to join that guided tour and unfortunately missed his flight. But I guess Travis decided he didn't have plans to catch that flight. He went on over after he got on that guided tour, and he ran over to North Korea. And some of the people that were on that tour said they actually heard and saw Travis laugh as he went over to North Korea's side. And some are now alleging that there is a vehicle waiting on the North Korean side to pick up Travis King. And they are alleging that Travis King got in that vehicle and left the scene and has not been seen since. Well, his family first came out and had a conversation, and they're saying that this is not like Travis. We don't understand what's happening. Well, they're speaking again. This is again coming from NBC News, and I'm going to run this video, and then we're going to have a conversation.
We want to make sure he's safe. So right now, that's our concerns, and we want him to return.
I just feel like the story is way deeper than what I can imagine. I just feel like deep down in my heart, my brother was afraid of something. Because why would he run? You know, what was his point if he was coming home? When I thought, he was returning and I was at work and I saw the news, I'm just like, that's my brother. That I got to calling everyone. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I was just talking to him, like literally 48 hours ago. You know, like it was just crazy. Because my brother, he's not the type to get into any trouble like that. Like it's all just sound made up.
Went to the army to fight for America. America should fight for him. Fight for him to come home, because a huge chunk of all of us just missing.
All right, you guys. So there you have it. Travis King's family spoke out. So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, Travis's brother, his uncle, uncle says that Travis was over there and he's fighting for America. And he says America should fight for Travis. What would you think about that comment? I know my thoughts were America could fight and pull and tug somebody to come back to American soil. But if they're fighting to pull and tug somebody to come back that don't want to come back,
right,
it's like you're wasting your energy and you're wasting your resources. And I understand Travis's family are like, listen, this is our loved one. We need to understand what happened. But if Travis is not willing to be found, then us risking other Americans, other family members to go over to a country that we know we have problems and issues with, that could be very dangerous for these other family members to go over to try and search, to try and rescue someone who does not appear to be detained against his own will.
Right.
I'm not sure if those family members, whose military family members would have to go over there, I don't know if those family members would be like, yes, go ahead and send my husband, go ahead and send my daughter, because they would be risking their lives too. What's your thoughts on this?
That's the first I have to say. We have to hear from him and see what his mindset is. If he does he really want to come back, or not? Does he really want us to go over there and try to rescue him or do some kind of something to get him back to USA, or he just fed up with the USA and want to stay over there in North Korea?
Yeah.
So we'd have to find out from him what his mindset is.
And that's what I think. And again, I understand the family's cry for help. I understand the family's heart concern. But I do think that the family has to also understand, if we've got to get other people. And that was my first thought when I heard the uncle say America fought. He went to fight for America. America should fight for him. It's almost as though it's kind of slick talk, I would kind of say, because it's almost as though he's trying to say pressure. Okay, y'all do this because he did this for you. But then I think his uncle has to also understand that Travis made this decision. This decision was not made by anybody else. Travis was at the airport. He was at the airport. He was able to get on, and he was, had the opportunity to board the plane.
Get back to the USA.
But he chose
to
go the other direction. And not only did he choose to go the other direction, he planned this twice from what we know. He planned to do this. So as a family member,
I don't know if he planned to visit the what you saying? He planned to
yes,
visit the DMZ.
He planned to visit the DMZ, and we're thinking that by him planning to visit this DMZ, allegedly,
that was his plan.
That was his plan all along. That's what my thought is. This was part of the plan.
You might be correct on that one.
And then and his sister, saying that this is not him, he's not a bad kid or whatever. Sometimes, again, like I said in the first video we did, you guys go back to my first video and watch this. Sometimes we don't know our loved ones that well. When they get out of the household and they get amongst other people and they get in different areas and different, surroundings, sometimes they change. And sometimes their trueness comes out.
You might say that the military changed them for the,
I don't know,
not for the better, but for the worse.
And it could be, it could be that. But we know that she's saying allegedly that he doesn't get in trouble. But from what we're seeing, or the stories that we're seeing now, we're just taking this from the news source, so I can't say if they're true or not. But they're saying that he was arrested. He was arrested for being, for arguing, I guess, with a police officer, a Korean police officer, and damaging a police car. Now, we don't know the circumstances surrounding that. We don't know if there was an accident that took place and they're saying you damaged a police car. We don't know if it was intentional, that he physically damaged a police car. We don't know if they're saying an argument, like maybe Travis was trying to speak up to defend himself and the officer took it as he was being aggressive. We don't know what the allegations are or the circumstances are behind that. However, what we do know is the military is alleging that they took him to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
So now it to me, I can see it from both scopes. I can see it from the family side. I can see it from, the other side. But I just don't know how I would feel if I was a person who had someone who was still in the military, who's now being told your family member is going to have to go over here and get this soldier who went AWOL. I as a, myself personally, I would feel as though, why does my loved one have to go over and get somebody who chooses to be there? I don't know. I would just feel like that. His sister also said in the article, they wrote that she says that she don't believe that no man should be left behind. Now that's a military term. That's a military term, that no man should be left behind. And from what I'm familiar with, that term is that if someone is captured,
right,
that you do not leave them behind. You fight
to get them back.
To get them back if they're captured. What happens in the instance where the person chooses to go over there?
It's all free will.
Does that still relate to that?
Uh-huh.
Now, what's your thought?
That's a good question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, I think it's a different situation than, if you get captured and no one left behind, you go back and try to get your comrade back. But if somebody chooses to go, then it's on his own volition, his own choosing. Yeah. Well,
the story reads here, and I put the link in the description so you guys can be able to pull this up for yourselves. It says that family members of Travis King, the U.S. soldier who inexplicably crossed into North Korea, said Wednesday they're suffering every moment he remains away and pleaded with the U.S. government to do more to get him home. It's been a little more than a week since Private Second Class King joined a private tour group visiting the demilitarized zone, which is a DMZ, which separates North and South Korea, and made a mad dash into North Korea. King was believed to have been taken into North Korean custody after crossing the border, a United States Forces Korea spokesperson has said. The days are getting longer, nights are worse, King's sister, Jaquita Gates, 27-year-old, told NBC News at their grandparents' home in Kenosha. All I think about is what he can be doing. King, a Racine native, had been telling family members how much he was looking forward to returning to the United States, his sister said, making last week's run to North Korea all the more mystifying. This is crazy. I was just talking to him literally 48 hours ago before the DMZ incident. It was crazy, Gates said. My brother, he's not the type to get into trouble like that. It all just sounds made up. King had been scheduled to fly back to Fort Bliss, Texas last week, where he was expected to face more discipline over a confrontation with local police that landed him in Korean custody for 1.5 months, according to a South Korean government official. Instead of getting on a flight at Incheon International Airport, King apparently slipped away and joined the private tour group at the DMZ. His run into North Korea, considered one of the world's most repressive and impoverished nations, stunned others in his travel party, who initially thought it was a prank. King's loved ones said they hope the U.S. government is working as hard as possible to get King home, the family said. When he went into the army to fight for America, America should fight for him. Fight for him to come home, said Myron Gates, King's uncle. Jaquita Gates added, at the end of the day, I just feel like it should be no man left behind. U.S. officials said Monday that there have been no new communication between the United Nations and North Korea since last week. A State Department spokesperson said Tuesday that King's well-being is a top priority for the U.S. King's family members said they've been in touch with the parents of Otto Warmbier, the American college student who died in 2017 after being held in North Korea. Now, the reason why they're bringing up Mr. Warmbier is because you all remember his son was held against his will in Russia. And I'm sorry, in North Korea. And he was able to get his son back, but unfortunately, after being held in prison confinement for so long in North Korea, the gentleman's son, once he got back on American soil,
he was already sick when they let him go.
He was sick, and unfortunately, he passed away from the unknown illness. I have no idea what they're declaring the illness was, but his son passed away. So Mr. Warmbier is being contacted to have conversations because they're asking him, what do you think? What are your thoughts? And Mr. Warmbier is saying that he believes that America should fight to bring him home, to bring Travis King home. What's your thoughts on this before we close this out?
Well, I'm pretty sure that the USA is, trying their best to try to communicate and get some information what's going on over there. And they're going to do their best to try to resolve the issue or the problem and try to get him back home as soon as possible.
I think what the family should also be doing during this time that they're doing interviews and getting in front of cameras, I think really they should be making a plea to Travis. I think they should be communicating in a way that they feel as though if Travis sees the video, then Travis will hear directly from them what it is they want to say to Travis. I think they should be using this time to have a direct communication with Travis. Maybe something in the sense to say, Travis, we understand that you may be afraid. We want you to come back. We don't understand why you did this. Whatever the circumstances are surrounding as to why you were afraid to come back, we want to help you get through that. We want to be able to be that safe place for you. Hear the words that we're saying and come back home to us and let us help you. I think it should be a direct communication with Travis, because from what I'm seeing, they're doing a direct conversation, but it's to the American government. Bring him back.
Right.
But I think the conversation should be in a way that it is to Travis, because you have to get into the head of Travis and say, Travis, we need you to choose to come back if you can. Now, if you want, and if by this time he's not being held captive, if you want to come back, we need you to come back. So I think that conversation needs to be had with Travis.
Send him a message.
Send him a message, a direct message through the media sources that you guys are using. Now, we're going to continue to pray for him and for others. But you guys also, we need to begin to pray for American soldiers, both male and female, that are having to go and rescue others, and continue to pray for our military as they are daily out here risking their lives to protect America. We need to start making it easy for them by us all working together as a united nation. And that includes people who are in the military. If you feel as though you're not happy with what's going on in the military, you feel as though you're not happy with what's going on with your life, speak to a chaplain in the military service. Speak to your lieutenant, your colonel, your somebody in leadership. Speak to somebody and understand that we are all fighting together and not fight against each other. Find ways to reconcile whatever differences that are taking place so that we can continue to remain to be a united nation.
Amen.
Okay, thank y'all for watching the Juice Radio and Talk Show. We'll be back with some more great stories and news articles from our viewpoint. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do that. Go over to our YouTube page, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Listen, we're doing some great things out here, and we want you to join us in this venture. The Juice Radio and Talk Show. You see the YouTube page there. the logo with the red mug and the microphone. Make sure you all subscribe today. All right. Stay blessed. And remember, give us a thumbs up on this video and share this video with others. Y'all have a blessed day out there and keep our military force in prayer. And y'all go ahead, send up some prayers for Travis too and his family as well. Stay tuned for more. Have a great day.
Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Take it easy.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.